Alright, now time for some goofing off on the Dire Lord. I've actual bit of time in the midday to get on and play, so let's see how this goes. Really what I want to do right now is just get a little bit of extra XP, because I'm a bubble away from hitting level 9. So it would be nice to get that wrapped up. And then, ideally, transfer some of this gear over to my Cleric and do some proper group stuff. I just really don't feel like pug tanking anything. Yo, what's going on, man? I am just getting rolling on finding someplace to go wander around and casually solo kill stuff here. There are a few places that are usually decent to just pick on blues and greens, which are solid solo XP. I mean, it's not nearly what you get in a group, but it is stuff you don't really have to worry about so much. So I'm just going to go check and see what I can find that's not already grabbed by other people. I think these Gadai should, yep, so these Gadai are still green, which means I won't get much from them, but I can chew straight through them, and it's just kind of a warm-up. Plus, they're humanoids, so they will drop typically sellable loot, if nothing else. And what I'll be able to do is just stop through the crossroads on my way to where I'm actually going and sell the crap these guys leave me. Well, they're being really generous on the loot today too, so I ain't gonna complain about that. Alright, nice little quick mini stop out of the way, but that got me a little bit of XP and some decent sellable crap. And again, greens and blues are kind of the order of the day if you're just looking to casually goof off solo like this. Yeah, I think a lot of people are in that boat where they're basically just looking to absolutely disappear into the terminus. And I definitely do get that. I don't know that the gameplay loop is one that will lead me to truly disappear in no life, but it is one I will be doing very regularly, if that makes sense. I just really want them to get a product to the finish line so that more people can be in regularly and the future's a little bit more assured. Because ultimately you've got to get to that minimum viable product stage. And they're making a lot of progress towards it, but it's still always a back of the brain worry. And yeah, I am stopping and mining because even though I'm not crafting, other people are, so I can funnel ore to them, and they can do things like make these pants that Man of Rohan made for me after I gave him a bunch of ore to help him level his armor smithing. In a previous testing phase, I did actually do a significant amount of crafting armor smithing in particular. This time around, I'm just not going to do it. I'm pretty much going to wait until we have longer lasting characters. But I will happily feed materials to crafters in exchange for stuff. Sometimes these wild vegetables, you get lucky and get something that's highly in demand. So let's see what we get. Golden potatoes. Not bad. There used to be a cooking quest for golden potatoes once you were certain ways through that chain. I don't know if it's still here anymore or not. Alright, so some sundry random stuff to sell. Rusted axe, definitely don't need that. All the rusted stuff basically just goes straight away. Now, there are a few places that are kind of easy pickings as far as being able to casually solo around the 6 to 8 range. And I think I see that somebody is either in this camp or the mobs are still in their resetting phase because they are on the list to be fixed in the next patch. With some of the changes they made to mob leashing behavior and other things like that, some of the mobs are a bit broken right now. But that is due to be fixed, I believe, in the upcoming patch, which is in a few days. Yeah, house and base building, I go very back and forth on that. I love the idea. The reality is, most of the time, it just ain't for me. I did play around with it a little bit in Nightingale, and actually do kind of like what they do there with your base building and your kind of house building. But it's still not my main draw. Oh, good, at least some of these guys are solidly unbroken. So these guys are all gonna be teals and greens, which means I'm not gonna get a whole lot of actual XP from them, but they're quick little drips of XP, as well as lootable, sellable items. And again, stuff that I do not have to worry about as far as these guys being a threat. So I can basically just goof off and kill them. In previous testing sessions, I kind of referred to this little hill here as my lunchtime camp, because I would just come here on my lunch break. Yep, unfortunately for Dez, I am still working on getting this guy to 9. Oh, there we go. There, I knew I had one more recruit to loot. And nice. All the Gadai in this camp are actually live and fixed. So I have the feeling somebody from VR might have been in the background doing a bit of work before the patch went live and fixing some of the stuck camps. Now, what I want to see is there's often an ore node up here. And yep, here we go. And it's Casperite today, too. But yeah, I actually really like crafting in a lot of games, as long as it's not an absolute grind or a slog. I like being able to use at least some gear that I've made. I like, you know, when consumables are good, things like that. But right now, you know, because Pantheon is in this testing phase where we know stuff is going to be transitory, just like, no, I'm not going to dump a bunch of time into it. Especially because I know that the current crafting system is really Nefel kind of just getting stuff in to get working placeholder systems. I don't want to get too invested in how things work now, because I know it ain't gonna last. So I don't think we have our other ore node up here. Nope. But one of the 2 ore nodes is good. Oh, so here's our resetting recruit. So it looks like only one of the mobs in this camp is left broken. And I probably can't unbreak him. Yep. He's proper broken. But previously this camp had several broken mobs in it, so they're definitely doing a good job of clearing up the broken mobs. And nothing up on the ledge. Oh, and I almost missed the apple tree. One of the things I am trying to do is gather full stacks of the different wood types so I can hand those off and get somebody to make the wooden bank boxes to expand my storage. Well, would you look at that? Blackberry bush led me right to another asherite ore deposit. That blackberry bush had 10 berries on it, so that was definitely worth it. Once this is finished up, then I will actually get back to what I was doing. But, you know, distracted by gathering. So all those low-level Gadai gave me a decent amount of just junk to sell to this dude. And then from there, while I wait for them to respawn, I will of course auto latch onto the wall, because that'll happen. Don't see, oh, there is an ore node down there. I still think that New World's gathering and crafting is so much fun. Like, the game definitely has some flaws to it. Like, don't get me wrong, but that particular set of systems is just so much fun. So what I'm going to go see is down the road and then off to the side, there is another one of these little mini low-level Gadai camps. Does not have a ton there. There's only about half a dozen mobs or so. But it is another often overlooked spot. Yeah, I haven't been keeping up on New World. I know they were talking about kind of a new release cadence. I haven't played in months, so I haven't kept up on what kind of stuff was new. I want to say the last time I hopped in and played for a while was when the Great Sword was the brand new weapon. I thought about that cave bat, but no. Yeah, I think the last time I played New World, the Great Sword and was it like the Blunderbuss or something were new? Oh, interesting. Are they making big changes to it, or is it just kind of like tweaks and refinements? Because I generally really liked the combat in New World. I thought it, for the most part, felt really good. Oh, interesting. That's definitely one I have not seen anything about. Yeah, the Great Sword was interesting, but I think if I remember right, I ended up going back to and sticking with my good old tried and true, either an axe build or sword and shield. They were just kind of that familiar, you know. Yeah. So let's see if I can get this tree chopped down before the wolf gets here. Yep. Okay, so now really need to stop getting distracted and get down to my second Gadai camp, because I do want to actually get some XP. But I see corpses and I see combat text, so yep, somebody is already here taking these guys, and I don't want to steal their camp. But this little area down here where you kind of come off the road and there's gathering nodes over here, and I think a lot of people just totally forget is that tucked away down in here, there's a whole little mini Gadai camp. And a lot of the time it is wide open because it can't support an actual group, but it can very definitely support like one person coming through just to get some kills. Now that I'm up here, I want to get my devours rolling. And let's see if there are any pickings up here, or is it picked clean? This looks pretty picked clean. I mean, I could try to... Well, let's see how a second cursed wolf goes. Stupid blurred vision. Yeah, the problem with the cursed fit with the blurred vision is that it makes it so hard for me to land my actual strikes on these guys. And if I can't land Essence Harvester, it means that my Essence generation is crap, which means I can't do anything else. So it's just a bad cycle. But that is definitely doable, although of course it is now just getting to nighttime, which means that the mobs are going to shift, because of course they are. Yeah, the spider's resisting basically everything I'm using. Now it shouldn't pull that trapper. Good. But of course, you never know what's going to pull what sometimes. Let's see, I know I've got some crappy food I can use. I got good food there. I'll use up the last of my fish. Mostly just to get an inventory space back. Don't really want to waste that trout on soloing. Oh, and these guys are starting to repop. Okay, good. I was wondering if I actually was regenerating health. It was just moving really slowly. So I've got a teal thug and a... Come on, burglar. I just conned the burglar. Okay. Little bit of a delay there. And a flying Vandred. I'm just going to go ahead and boil blood you too. Let's see, is any of that any good? One armor earring, and I'm wearing a pair of one armor earrings, so I'll probably save that just in case somebody else I group with later needs an earring. This guy's just green, so he's basically gonna melt. But nighttime is properly fallen. Unfortunately, I got unlucky here and got one of the low-level ruffian spawns, so I'm just going to get him out of the way. No XP, but he is some loot. It's going to be another dark blue curse wolf. Resisted my devour, which is unfortunate. Oh, blurred vision is so annoying. Life tap actually landed for something useful, which is kind of rare. Would really like it if there was some normalization to life tap, because it is very broken compared to what the tooltip claims. And I'm just going to let the curse wolf come back. Come back here, wolf. Okay, fine. I will come and get you. Make me chase you down, silly wolf. Now, from what I remember, the curse wolves have a chance to drop a good wolf pelt, but this dude just had the basic one. Oh well. It's still XP. I'm up to 2 mastery points, but I don't think I have anything that has oh, life tap. Life tap keeps getting unmasteried. So I'll put the 2 points back in. I remember hearing that that was in their plans, so they did actually get them in game. Nice. So they've got a horse, a wolf, and a lion. Neat. Are they all just kind of graphically different, or are they functionally different? Because, yeah, that is a game that I would love to go back to for a while, sometime. It is a great game to wander in, you know? Get my devours back up. And this dude's gonna run. Come back here. He ran right to another maple tree, so I'll nab that. So the skeletons that spawn in the night out here are dark blue, and if I remember right, they've got some decent loot. So I'm gonna go, once I finish cutting this tree down, I'm gonna go nab that skelly and see what he's got. He has the stamina loss, which is really annoying. Yeah, the Skellies, when they can basically just spam their debuffs, are kind of jerks. Nothing great, but oh, am I already out of inventory space? I am. Well, crap. Apparently it's already time to run back and sell. Although I'm just going to nab this ruffian right here, because he probably isn't going to have any loot that I absolutely want. But free XP. Yeah, the elk mounts are some of my favorite in Lotro. There are several. There are some moose mounts as well, but they are much more rare, and I don't think there are any ones that are really easy to get outside when they come up in the shop and stuff. But there are definitely elk mounts. One of my favorite elk mounts is one from several years back's Yule Festival. So it's not one that I think you can properly get anymore. And unfortunately, I only ended up getting it on one character. Just because I didn't have a lot of my current characters back then. But the Elk of Felagoth's Glory, which is purchasable from the Figments of Splendor vendor pretty regularly, is not a bad elk mount substitute. And figments are pretty easy to get because you can trade the green currency for them that you get from missions and stuff like that. Several different ways to get the what are they called? Motes. The Motes of Splendor. Those are usually fairly easy to get, and you can trade those in bundles of 1,000 for Figments of Splendor, and the Figments are used to buy typically cosmetic things from the Figment vendor. Alright, so I'm going to keep that... I'm going to keep that earring, the one armor earring, just in case somebody else doesn't have one and needs one. Alright, I think that's as much as I have that's truly sell bait. And back to it. Oh, apparently I can't sell the water, so I'm just going to go ahead and drink it. Make room. But in theory, the ledge camp will have respawned by now, unless anybody else got there. So, since I'm back at Crossroads, I'm going to take a quick dip in here and see if I've got my next set of kills waiting for me. And looks like I do. And nice, this guy actually spawned as a dark blue. Dark blue is kind of the sweet spot for right now. They're not too bad for time to kill and danger as long as you're not being a complete idiot about it. And they also... Oh, hang on a second. Did I actually finally get... There we go. Got a cloak, so I have that back armor slot filled. I mean, it's not much, but it's 1 armor more than I had before. But yeah, dark blue is kind of the sweet spot as far as risk for reward. They don't take too much longer to kill than a teal. And they're solid XP comparatively. Okay, that's the broken one, which means this is the good one. I'm just going to pull her back here. Man, I am filling up my bag with crap. I'm actually going to have to do the thing where I'm going to run to the crossroads to sell and then run all the way back to Avalia to hit the bank, because I have so much crafting material that it is actually making me encumbered. But there's Casperlight up there, so I'm going to take the Howler and that first, and then slow roll it back to Crossroads to sell some crap. But it is kind of nice to be able to just kind of run around and casually goof off like this before I hop into anything more involved. Got the week off work because I had to burn some time, so I get to play video games. Yeah, the use of it being stable master networks is kind of cool, and there are some routes which are swift travel where you see them where you basically start riding the horse out of one location and then it basically cuts to the next location. But there are also, you have the ability to do the wow, flask of water, great ration crate there. You also have the ability to, take the slow horse, as we call them, and just see the whole scenery. Hi, recruit. Bye, recruit. But I do like that they tied a lot of the travel systems in, at least the basic ones. Now, you do have, like, the milestone skills, which, lets you use a map to return to a bindstone, and as you keep going you will earn like actual travel teleport skills, typically through reputation and stuff like that. But the stable masters are still kind of your defaults. Alright, so I've now lost all of my buffs because I've been out long enough. So some of this crap has got to be sold so that I can actually be able to move at a decent speed. Perfect. Just under the cutoff now. So back to Avelia to throw some mats in the bank. Ooh, with this, yeah, small dusk bat. You are green, but you're right here, so you're gonna get picked on. And a large apple tree. So this again is because I want to build up full stacks of the different wood types to get boxes made. And the large apple tree will hopefully give me a decent amount of wood. Let's see, what time is it? It is 1 o'clock, so I've got a lot of hours of darkness left. Oh, and of course that encumbered me. I pretty much saw that one coming. But again, wasn't going to pass up the large tree because that got me a lot of materials. Ooh, nice. Wild onions. I know there are several recipes that use those that are pretty good, so I am trying to stash those. Of course, I also don't know 100% which recipes have carried over from previous sessions, but I'm pretty sure that the onions are still in demand. And Casperlite, I know, is always in demand. People making the chain armor. One of these days, I'm going to have to basically just get a bunch of these mats together and get Mana Rohan or somebody else who's doing armor smithing to make a set of chain for my Cleric so they don't have to find people to move gear back and forth between my Dire Lord and my Cleric. Because that's one thing I'm going to have to do later on is get this stuff transferred. So I'll have to do that fun thing of finding somebody to hold and stash gear. And Grey Howler, buddy, you're just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Sorry, but you look like XP. Ooh, dang, people are saying there's buffs coming at the well soon, so I want to see if I can forego getting mobs, and maybe I can make it to the well in time to catch those. I'm not too far out, but I've got encumbrance working against me. And hopefully I'm not missing well buffs, but we'll see. I am almost there. Let's see who... Yeah, cool. We got a handful of people here buffing. And of course, people standing on the scavenger. Alright, you want moon lily petals? Fine, I will do that. And some of these are gonna get sold. A lot of this is bank fodder. And this is why I need some bank boxes made, because I'm starting to run really shy on available space. But that will do for now. Seriously, the day they actually hook it up so that you can make escape close all the open windows cannot come soon enough. Okay, so let's see what I've got around here. I might be able to go pop over to the mini camp that was taken last time. Let's see. Well, I don't see anybody at it, so this might be mine. And again, they're going to be primarily greens and teals. But they are quick, easy XP. The recruiter is dark blue. And I got a teal and a green. There wasn't a lot in this camp. Often you can get more than just this number here. But still, easy XP and easy loot. And sun's starting to come up, so it's actually going to be light out, which is nice. Oh, got a crafting schematic from that guy. Oh, here we go. We are getting pops from the rest of them. Good. And got another teal, so he's going to be a quickie. But again, another nice thing is that just doing these kind of lazy casual mobs gotten me a lot of stuff to sell. I've been able to gather a lot, and I've still gotten halfway through this last bubble of XP I need to hit 9. I don't think there's anything down here. Nope. But here's the rest of the camp popping. So somebody must have just cleared this out, and it was almost finished repopping when I showed up. So that's basically perfect timing for me. Like, I am not going to complain about that, because it gave me all of these guys, like, piece by piece. And since it's here, I'm going to go ahead and... Wow, the Ghost Viper went... Oh, he just despawned because the night to day cycle just changed. So I believe it's 6 o'clock then. Yep, current hour in game just hit 6. So, hit one of those awkward despawn times. That is something where some of the mobs that do the day to night and night to day cycle transitions are still hooked up to be like a hard despawn and spawn. Whereas a lot of the others seem like they persist until they walk into areas where there aren't players or get killed. It's just a little bit jarring when you get one of the ones like that young Ghost Viper that just disappears as soon as the sun comes up. That wasn't bad. 6 pine logs. So I'm kind of curious about the slate hide boars. I don't know how much of a pain they're going to be or not. So I'm going to try one. They are white con, which technically I really shouldn't be fighting. But I do have good gear, so we'll see how this goes. Let's see if I can land both my Devours on him. Nope, he resisted Devour Dexterity. For whatever reason, it always seems like Devour Dexterity is the one that just does not want to land. Great, not bad, although of course a Grey Howler added, so I'm going to have to take care of him. But he is just green, so he has made mistakes with his life. You should have left well enough alone. I think that I have a task to kill Slate-Hide Boars, don't I? 5 boar meat, yep. I think those come from the Slate-Hide Boar, if I remember right. There's still nothing respawned down there. This being basically a little mini solo camp, the respawn timer on it is not quick, because it's really more intended and balanced around like somebody a couple levels lower than I am doing it solo. Oh sure, Devour landed on this guy just fine. Alright, let's see if I can get all of my boar meat in 2 kills. Nope. That would have been too easy. Anybody respawning? Nope. No more Gadai yet. So I'm going to see if I can find one more of these Slate-Hide Boars and get that knocked out real quick. Just sort of cross some stuff off the list. He's going to walk behind the tree, isn't he? Yep. I knew that was a bad idea from the start. Bear's trying to juke. Okay, so this should definitely give me my last boar meat, unless for some reason he just doesn't process down into any meat, which would be my luck. So I'm not going to discount that. Alright, so that gives me my 5 boar meat that I have to take back to the scavenger. Which again, give me a nice little bit of money. And now I should be able to get back to XP. So I will hit the crossroads, sell some of this stuff. These boars are actually kind of decent XP. They do take a little while, but the return seems to be solid. So I'm definitely going to have to keep an eye out for them, because apparently at this level and this gearing, they are right in a nice little sweet spot. And when I get the last third or so of this bubble, I think that'll put them in a really good sweet spot for XP. Do I have any more Gadai yet? Nope, they are all still napping. There's definitely one drawback to this camp here, is that it does not spawn quickly. So this is a slightly lower level slate hide boar. This one is a dark blue. But dark blue again is kind of right in that sweet spot. Right, one last peek. Nobody. Nope, nobody. But this gray howler has respawned like 4 times and just really wants to keep coming back. Clearly not learning its lesson. Poor doggy. Another dark blue boar here, so Good pickings. I saw a little juke you wanted to do there. We are not having that, sir. Making good progress, though. I'm about 3/4 of the way through this last bubble. And at 9, what do I get? Ah, I get Torment at 9, that's right. So that's, again, another place where I'm going to have to make a choice on action bar real estate. I'm gonna skirt around that Viper there. Oh, he got his charge done in. Dang it. I was really hoping that I would land my Devour before his stun finished and he got me. Come back here, boar. You're just running enough that you're gonna die tired. But this little area here has been pretty solid for getting good XP, good kill density. Take a peek, and here we go. Got my camp respawn. So I'm going to move back to doing these guys because I still have a bit of bag room, so I want the loot. One thing I need to check is that pattern that I got. Okay, it's not bound. That's what I wanted to make sure, was it wasn't one of those things that like bound when I picked it up. Because I definitely want to hand that off to a crafter. And I was just hoping I would actually be able to do that. That guy really wanted to make me chase him down. Okay, what food do I have that I can use up? I'm going to use up some of the Thrown Fast cider. And use some of the venison that Des made me. Alright, so no mastery spent in me, and my XP is so close. So I'm so close to next level. And my inventory's full again. So I'll have to be a little bit choosy about what I make room for here. But it's just too good to pass up this quick XP. What do I have that is definitely... Oh, flask of water. Yeah. That will go away in place of whatever I loot from one of these folks. And again, the Grey Howler that just wants to keep respawning here, only to die horribly. All the rest of these are actually good sellables, so I'll just have to make a choice as to my, what is it, one inventory space I have left? Yep, one inventory space. Right. Howler's gonna run off and do what he's gonna do. Patchcloth hood or patchcloth shawl. Or, yep, weathered club. So it does seem like the weapons are kind of the stuff that sells for the most. Alright, now at this point I have to run back and sell this crap to make room. I am so close to level 9. And when I hit level 9, then I'm going to head back to Avelia, see if I can find somebody to facilitate a gear transfer from this character to my Cleric, and hop on and run the Cleric for a while, because I would like to get some levels on him. But that is one of those tricky things where you have to find somebody that you well and truly trust to hold and transfer gear for you. Okay, I need to keep the boar meat. The rest of this stuff, for the moment, I just do not care about. Stale bread. Oh, and look, another tattered cloak. So apparently those guys are a good solid source for back armor. Go ahead and just get rid of that bread. Again, to make the inventory room. And now I'm going to run back down, and mission at this point is just pick up the last bit of XP that I need. So I really do need to ignore the various gathering things and just run back down to the area down the road where I can get these guys and pick up the last of this bubble. And here we go, our first boar victim. And cross slash, while it is nice when it crits, is pretty much my next candidate for something to take off of my bar when I get another ability to put there. Because most of the time, even though it doesn't hit quite as hard, I'm gonna be using Essence Harvester or Sanguine Blade instead. Just because both of those have secondary effects, not just the damage they deal. Like, cross slash is nice because you have that armor bypass that it does, but Sanguine Blade gives me the heal, and Essence Harvester gives me that Essence Leech effect. So both of those have more than just damage. If I was playing the Dire Lord and doing a DPS flex because that's what the group needed, I would definitely be using cross slash as a primary. Jerk move, boar. Jerk move. Well, this guy just does not want to die. He is hanging on there. Alright, let's see if I can actually land Devour Dex on him. There we go. That should at least help me hit him a little bit better, I believe, because Dex... Oh, no, Dex is the offensive rating one. There you go, boar. Runaway dotted. Gonna end up with about 1 million boar meat out of this. Let's see. Anybody in the camp yet? Nope. Just a poor gray howler. No fishing yet. It's been one of the things that they've talked about, but there is not currently a fishing. Which, as everybody knows, you are not truly a release-ready MMO until you have a fishing system in place. I'm trying to remember if the bucks are in the way or not. I swear they have something they do. Oh, they've got the headbutt, that's right. And that sets me off balance. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to them getting stuff like fishing hooked up. Because I know it's silly, but the game has fishing. I will sit around for way too long and fish in it. Yeah, it should definitely be one of those things where if you're getting set to launch your MMO and you're looking at your checklist, that's one of the things you should look for and say, you know, okay, can we check off the "we have fishing" checkbox? All right, we're ready to launch. And here comes the charge stun. I'll just eat that one. Even though I don't really need to, I'll also just refresh my devours. In this particular case, because the boar was already most of the way to dead, it was really just to get my timers refreshed. And at this point, I should be a couple of kills away from level, and then I can hit town, see if I can find somebody to do some gear handoff and trade, and do the cleric for a little while. See if there's anybody down in the camp just yet. Nope, all these guys are still sleepy. And there we go, level 9. So I've got Scroll of Torment, which really is kind of meh from what I remember. I'm not actually sure that it's going to be one that I keep on my bar regularly. Level 10 is when I get the good stuff. Alright, so I'm going to make the run here. Let's see, Torment is a cast action, which means I have to get rid of something, and it just reduces incoming healing by 25%. So I'm going to replace Cross Slash with it. I don't think I'm going to use it to any regularity. Just again because its primary use is reducing incoming healing, so it is useful against healing type mobs or mobs in a group that have a healer backing them up. But again, like I said, really don't use Cross Slash that much, so it's not a big loss. That nice shot of thrown fast in the background there. And now back to... oh, nope. Ore. Again, not going to pass up the ore because hopefully at some point in time I'll be able to hand some of this off to a crafter and make it so that I don't have to do gear swaps. And they just keep putting ore in front of me. They don't want me to get back to town, apparently. But that does have me with a decent little stash of ore to toss back in the bank and hand off to a crafter when somebody comes on, so not a bad thing. Find a way to get somebody crafting levels and me some gear. Because, of course, there's somebody named Gandalf. I'm sure playing a wizard. Some tropes in MMOs you're just not going to get rid of. There are names and archetypes that somebody is inevitably going to take and use. And yes, a great many of them do in fact come from Lord of the Rings. You get your Legolases, your Aragorns, and your Gandalfs. Then every game, of course, also needs at least one person running around as XX Sephiroth XX, and somebody running around as Drizzt. Only if they dual wield. You know, the things you have to have in an MMO. Yeah, he did a really good job in that role. Let's see, what quest? Okay, boar meat and... oh, looks like I had two, Huntress and Scavenger for the boars. Oh, that's right, the Huntress wanted me to kill them and get meat, and the Scavenger just wanted me to get meat. So I did actually get a 2-for-1 on those. So I'm going to stop and check in with the Huntress real quick. Turn that one in, then go to the Scavenger. That one's an XP quest, so it doesn't suck. So, thyme and boar meat to create 3 roasted boar meat. Well, yeah, so that'll be a quick one to finish up. I probably should actually do that. Just because I already have so much boar meat, and it is 200 odd XP. Yes, I believe that part of the Lore Master class was based around, around Elrond. It's been a while since I've looked at those, and that's kind of been one of those where there's not like a direct one-to-one, like, hey, we made this person in the game as this class necessarily, but there's a lot of based on type stuff, and I think Elrond was Lore Master. If you go to the character creation screen to like make a new character, when you look at each of the classes, it'll tell you kind of which character was a primary inspiration for them. Alright, so they were claiming that I could buy time from the Scavenger, but I don't see it here, which means I might be able to buy it from one of these people. Let's see, Huntress. Buy time from the Scavenger. Yeah, the Scavenger ain't selling me time. This might be one of those where things were changed around and we still don't have anything new. Oh well. I am not terribly concerned about that. Alright, so what can I take out of here? Okay, carrots are kind of crap. Nobody uses carrots. And also, because I'm going to be swapping gear around, let me just yoink these out so that I am not running around naked on this character. Because these 6 pieces here are what I'm going to want to find somebody to transfer over for me. I don't see anybody that I actually know, which is usually the first thing I look for is anybody on that I actually just flat out know and can get to do it. That is looking like a negatory. Vandrat, I'm not sure I would entirely trust with my things. Oh, Palia is so much fun. I have played a good amount of that in some pre-release testing phases, and then the early access before their Steam launch. I love Palia. It is definitely not an MMO. It is much more a small scale, like kind of multiplayer almost Stardew-like, but it is an absolute blast. I've streamed some Palia way back in the day. It is a lot of fun, and again, because also it is a free game. I think it's free on Steam too. It is a oh, I never did see Nathan play Palia. I know a handful of us did play for a little while. Des and I played a good bit of Palia. Cleric and Drac dipped in for a little while, and I think a few others. I know Fate was playing Palia for a little while. It has that same kind of just relaxing cruise and explore and, harvest vibe that Stardew has, just in a different format and multiplayer. I really like it, and it's one of those games where I have happily given them money, even though it is a free game, just because, again, the developers are, they very much just put out and said, like, hey, here's a game. If you want to support us by buying cosmetics, knock yourself out. If not, enjoy the game. And I have easily gotten my my money's worth in time out of what I've put into Palia. One of these days I do need to get back and check out what they've done, because I really haven't played like the new festival stuff at all that they were doing. So one of these days I need to get in and mess around with some of the newer stuff they put in. Alright, so let's see. I'm not seeing anybody hanging out the well that I know. I know Desrin and Drac and all them. They're doing a manor group, so they're nowhere near here. I was just hoping I would luck into some of the Plus or SGL crew taking a break and being by the well that I could nab to do my gear transfer, but I think I might have to put faith in strangers, which I don't like to do if I can help it. Oh, and then there's a Vendini. But we're going to play the Trust Vantrad game. Yeah, and of course, Vin showed up just as Vandrad was volunteering. And normally Vin would be my preferred one to trust, but yeah, I mean, Vandrad is actually a nice guy. He kind of gets grief because he has that like the angry guy in the Pantheon community rep. Oh, and apparently I'm being told to wait here, which kind of makes me wonder, does he have something that he's looking to hand down? Ooh. It's honestly kind of a long-running, basically like a Pantheon community meme at this point that, Vandrad is the guy who rages at stuff. And, it has some truth to it, but he doesn't do it as a, like, because he's a jerk. He's just very passionate about the game. Like, very passionate about the game. And, he wants it to be good. And that's really what it comes down to. I do want to keep that with me. So it's just kind of a long-running theme of, Vandrad the Angry. All right, so I'm gonna go see if I can get a little bit of killing done. Oh, what I need to do though is thank Vin for the buffs. I need to check on my scrolls to make sure I have my spells ready. Because I don't think I have anything pre-bought right now. Nope. So let's see what I have waiting. So level 7 will be bolster, which, and then rebuke is 8, revive is 8. Where's celestial glow? Already. Why isn't it in my? Oh, it did the stupid thing where it wiped things off of my bar. Okay. I need to double check all my stuff here to see. Check all of my masteries. Okay, peripheral rest is on. Frail barrier doesn't have mastery. Okay. So, Celestial Glow, Remedy. So yeah, all I get at 7 is Bolster. So I'll go ahead and buy that so that it's ready. But other than that, go back to the Huntress, because apparently I completed a quest there. Level my climbing skill. So do you remember years? Actually, it might have been too far back for you, but years back there was like the yearly like Pantheon community drafts. Let's see, what does he want? Ghost Viper. Okay. Like basically people drafting teams of community members to put together, and like Minus and Drac and Theric and the community would draft their own teams. And I don't remember who the team captain was that year, but one of the teams that got drafted in one of the drafts was like Vandrad and a whole bunch of other people that were all kind of known for being like the outspoken folks. And it was the like Team Angry. It was honestly kind of comedy. Oh, I know what I was gonna do. Let's mark myself here as looking for group. Even though for the moment, what I'm gonna do is basically just bash some rats and stuff so that I can work on my weapon skills and such. Yeah, I don't even remember which iteration of the game that was, to be honest. If it was the Spider Cave test stream, yeah, that would have been not terribly long ago in the grand scheme of things, I should say. Yeah, I think where I originally found Pantheon was not Ko's first stream with the devs, but I believe it was his second stream with the devs, because the first stream that he had with the devs was very, very work in progress, where there were like placeholder graphics for a ton of stuff in the old system. And a lot of mobs didn't even like actually move. But after that, they were doing streams where they had Ko play like a rogue and then a monk. And that was back in the days when before Brad passed, and there was, he was playing the war wizard, like with the shiny green armor and all. We got to see the Tower of the Reckless Magician and, you know, some later streams and things like that. But yeah, that was the first time that I properly saw Pantheon. 'Cause I had seen it before then when I was actually doing the rounds in Kickstarter for the campaign that didn't succeed. But at the time, just because I wasn't paying 100% attention to it, I mistakenly lumped it in with kind of all of the other Kickstarter MMOs that were largely going around at that same time, that kind of same era of them, where there were a lot of people trying to kickstart basically like gank box free-for-all PvP MMOs. And for some reason, I had just seen so many of those that when I saw Pantheon come around, I just was like, oh, it's just going to be another one of those. And so I never actually looked into it further until much later when Co was starting to do the streams with the devs. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to set aside some time later this year and go back and do some more ESO because it is overdue. One of the things I have to figure out though is like what class I'm going to play, like what I'm going to do. So I think this is a basic, okay, good. This is a basic crushing weapon, so I don't need to level up anything new for it. Awesome. So yeah, definitely got the hookup from Vandrad with this rune-carved hammer here, because it is solidly comparable to the cudgel I was using. I think a little bit more damage even, but also it's got the stats. But also, I know that if I don't go back to ESO for too much longer, I'm pretty sure that Nissa is going to have an absolute conniption fit. Because she has still been bugging me for when am I going to go back. And that's been going on for years now at this point, so I am overdue. See, what level is this cleric? Level 6, and I definitely don't have much in the way of XP in. So I should actually find a proper group. I'm just going to go ahead and kill one more wolf. Then do this the smart way and head back to town, look for a group. I also should remember to actually use my buffs. I didn't want to cast Awaken Courage while I was at the well, specifically just because I was seeing that everybody else already had Awaken Courage on, and which meant that it was quite possibly from a higher level than mine. And I didn't want to risk overriding a high level with a low level, because I think that might still be a thing in this version of the game. Yeah, it has been a while. But yeah, those first couple of co-streams with the devs are what got Pantheon on my radar too. Okay, so we'll sell off some of the crap I've gathered. Go stash that azurite in the bank. And let's see. Most of the people in LFG right now are strongly more level than I am. There's Drax Manor Group advertising for more. Oh, looks like they are still looking for a tank or for a permanent tank. Yeah, well, that ain't happening. I'm still level 9. I am not going to go do that. I do have my LFG on. But there's not a whole lot of these low to mid-level people hanging around. So, see if I search for level 5 to 8. Ooh, there's not a lot. Let's see, we have... Yeah, 8 people in this level range, only 1 tank. And nobody marked LFG. Oh, and there is the tank right there. So this might be a bit of a wait. Oh, that dude is way over encumbered. I bet he's going to toss crafting mats in the bank. He's sprinting to move at that slow jog there. Let's see, we've got a 17 rogue, a 19 something hanging around. 11. 9, 11. Yeah. Ooh, those are some fancy swords. I wonder if those are the wing blades. Definitely looking forward to when I can use those on my Dire Lord. So I might have to just wander around scumming some solo XP while I wait for the ranks at this level range to fill out a little bit, which is kind of a bummer. So I did want to actually get some grouping in, but nobody's throwing anything together. But I do want to go at least kill stuff and not waste this, waste these buffs I've got. So I'll head up the road, pick on some greens and teals, and just wait and see what I can get. I just don't want to keep basically hanging around getting no XP. Because even crap XP is better than none while you're waiting. Guy recruit is dark blue, so he's a solid candidate here. And again, when you've got decent gear and a full set of buffs, dark blue is really solid even as a cleric. This dude is just chain blurred visioning me. That is so not cool. Stupid bat. I can't get that guy by himself, but I'll grab some mana and then pull these two. I've got a dark blue and a teal, so that's not bad. I just want to make sure I'm topped off before I grab them. Because again, clerics are many things, but offensive powerhouses they are not. Recruit wandering in could be problematic, but I think I'm going to be able to just take this recruit out here. Just like I planned it. And conveniently, he's walking away from his friend, so in we go. Will you please stop doing the dance through me thing? See if I can drag her all the way over here. Nowhere near your buddy. And alright, I will take the earring, because this character didn't have any. Got rings, but no earrings. So one more armor. Solid. And again, while I've got these buffs, level 6 is still good enough to go do kind of the junk G'dais. So I'm going to go see if my lunchtime camp and then the camp down the road are still open for me. I do see a G'dai recruit. Let's see. And another one walking that just does not want to target. There we are. See if I can... Yeah, there we go. Oh, no. Pulled them both. Oh, well. Again, these guys are primarily just going to be teals. Some probably even green. This one is dark blue, but again, full set of buffs. Well, hello there. What is cooking? I'm just doing a bit of solo clericing while I wait and see if the population at this level range fills up a bit so I can get a group. It's a bit slim at the moment. But I've been neglecting the cleric, so I've let most people kind of get ahead of me. Just hopping in and seeing who's doing what. Well, always nice to see. Always nice to see that you guys are hopping in and checking out. I do. I played Cleric a little while back in the Creators Week stream. We are everywhere. We are Legion. Back when the kit was very much kind of not in place yet. Let me see if I can get this person before they go in. Come here. Oh, it's going to be two. Yeah, so I played Cleric back when their kit had been kind of partly in place, but then partly given to the Paladin. Yeah. Yeah, it was very much a work in progress, and then some things got shifted around. But actually, it was kind of funny because when I was playing and streaming that Cleric, one of the first things I said was the Aegis from the two celestial spells is nice as a crit effect, but we really should have a controllable barrier to really fit the design and the feel of the class. And then I had the message pop up in my chat from Joppa saying, "Oh yeah, that's actually on the agenda, and it's coming in a future design of the Cleric." So I was like, oops. Yeah, compared to the previous kind of I don't want to say amorphous, but really kind of sketched out Cleric, this Cleric feels a lot more complete and thematic as a class, if that makes sense. Like, it feels like it has an identity as a healer, even though it definitely seems like it is still think that, yep, that's the recruit that still isn't fixed yet, but well, I'll take both of you guys. Yeah, thematically, the class fits together much more than it did the last time I was playing it. And the ability to use Frail Barrier as our controllable barrier is really, like, that is what the class was missing the last time I played it. Yeah, so my main, yep, hi, bye, recruit. My main for many testing iterations has been the Dire Lord, and you know that they've been kind of one of the most thematically complete classes. So it's been interesting whenever I switch over to the Cleric, because again, they're kind of still they spent a lot of time in the level of just being a sketch of a class, but they feel a lot better now. Silly wolf, I was trying to pick apples. Yeah, that definitely does seem like the way that as soon as the three healers were really talked about in their roles, and kind of those identities got shaped out, that very much lines up with what we've been hearing, and I like the fact that we're going to get three very viable healing play styles out of it. I've usually been, in previous games where I've been the healer, I've been the big spender, big heals type, but I like the barrier heals that Cleric is getting. I like the mitigation playstyle more and more. I mean, you gotta have the bulk. I'm going to take a quick peek and see if my Asherite's up. And no such luck. Alright, so down the road, and I'm going to see if my other little mini Gadai camp is still up and still mine. Yeah, Monk does seem like the kit is in a really solid spot. I know in our Thursday night group, Desrin is playing our monk. Desrin does, and he's got it in a pretty good rhythm. Yeah, of all the kind of DPS classes right now, if I had to pick one to play, it would be the monk. I'm still curious to see the ranger, but Pantheon isn't doing my preferred DPS archetype, so the ranger may be the closest I get. And that does make sense because both of these, both the warrior and the cleric are newer classes for their implementations. They're recent additions to the game. And then cleric had a lot of things kind of pulled design-wise to add to the paladin. It's funny you say that because the kind of DPS archetype that I have been really digging, like my main MMO is Lord of the Rings Online, and the champion class there is what I would love to see an equivalent of in Pantheon, which is heavy armor, two-handed weapon, just wade in and go to town. Like I would love to be able to kind of play my champ in Pantheon, but there's not an equivalent. Okay, I think this is my turn. Yep, okay. And good, the camp is popped and nobody else has shown up. Yeah, I really like my specifically my red trait champion in Lord of the Rings Online. Literally, the name for that trait line, like that build, is Berserker, and it's heavy armor, two-handed weapon. Your self-sustain comes from getting little continuous heals on using your damaging abilities or killing enemies. Like it is the Berserker archetype. And I would love it if Pantheon had something like that, but it's there's already enough classes and things like that. That might be a down the road type thing, First expansion type class. Because one of the things that I do really kind of argue for when people say, well, I want Pantheon to have this, I want Pantheon to have that, is at a certain point in time, you gotta let the VR people launch the game so that they have a launched product. It can't be everything and yeah, exactly. A someday thing. Like, at some point in time, they need to, it's got to be, let VR finish up what they're working on right now so that they can launch that. Then we start asking for more. You can't just say we want everything in the kitchen sink. And I know that part of that is also one of the reasons why, I know that previous iterations had a lot of the classes have a primary and a secondary role that they were intended to fill. Like the Dire Lord for the longest time was a primary tank and its secondary was DPS, meaning, you would have a strong DPS, like secondary build, and that's probably less mana than I really want to go in with, but whatever. And I know that that's been kind of scoped down over time into bringing a lot of classes back to just having one primary listed role for the sake of scoping development, which makes perfect sense. Like, it can't be something that everything just goes nuts. Yeah, exactly. I think I'm guessing we're going to see a lot more of that kind of mild flex rather than a full-on ability to build a class for one of two things. But yeah, the cadence that you guys have had as far as actually getting iterations out for us to test and work with, and communicating what's coming next, and just kind of all of that stuff has been really good the last few months. Like, it is very much appreciated, and it's had me a lot more excited about things, because I definitely had some time where I was just like, okay, I'm gonna let them cook and come back and check on them in a year. And as much as I would like to have classes that had, a significant ability to have a secondary role or a full am I already full? Holy crap. I am. It's just a patch cloth cord. As much as I would love to have that build flexibility, I also would like, the ability for, all you guys to be able to scope and release a game, because what's here is good. So I want to see this foundation be able to get released so that later iterations could maybe have that, like, okay, now we're introducing some more flexibility after the class archetypes are established. Like, that's a perfectly viable down the road thing, if it means that we get Pantheon launched. Alright, I need to dump off a whole bunch of stuff here. And there is still... aren't any groups coming together in this level range right now, so I might be kind of SOL for that. Nope, don't need any of these. And honestly, with the cadence that we've seen things coming out in, that's very believable. And to be frank, a year ago, I would have been inclined to say BS on that. But now seeing the turnaround that we're getting, I'm pretty darn hopeful about that. Oop, don't sell the rivets, those are good. Because there's been just a lot, there's been a really improved, cadence and progress that we see the team making. And I think that's a lot of it, is that there's progress that we can look in and see. And I know that things have to get to a certain point to get to where we can look in and see progress. But it's been very reassuring over the last year or so, to where statements like, hey, in 6 months we expect to have base classes in, is a lot more believable now than it was a year ago. So I definitely, I really hope that is true, or even just a ballpark target that can get hit, because things happen. You never know. I may as well mine. But right now, that's a statement that I think a lot more people are going to look at and go, yeah, I can see VR doing that. Yeah, exactly. We're seeing, actually, like, seeing and being able to experience that progress that's happening, rather than between October and now, I mean, heck, between the last summer and now, like, last summer was one of those, like, I'm just going to step away and kind of keep half an eye on Pantheon, and I'm not even sure that VR is going to get a game into testing at this point. And then you look at now, and it's like, okay, they are really ripping through progress, and we're looking really good. So there's been so much good positive turnaround on, the team and what we get to see, that when when you say things like, hey, here's our 6-month plan, it's actually something that sounds viable. What I really need to do is stop getting distracted by gathering and actually do some XP. Yeah, I think that to a large extent, it's been good to see okay, look, we're doing our change of direction. We've got a new plan. We're going forward. And for us to be able to see that is the kind of thing that has really inspired confidence. Seasons, I think, it's not perfect. There's no such thing as a perfect, testing and design cadence, especially for something like this, where it's an indie crowd-funded game, etc. But Seasons has done a lot to get people interested, have their eyes on the project, and be much more interested and much what's the word I'm looking for? Just optimistic about the whole thing in general. Like, we've seen throughout various streams we've done, a lot of people who have been in SGL streams, everybody else who's streaming, come in, see the game in the state it's in, and already like, oh, okay, cool. I'm throwing down a base pledge right now, so I can do my 1 week of testing out of 6. That has been a huge positive reception. So while Seasons may not be perfect, it has been a very positively received testing loop from pretty much everything that I've seen. As far as community feedback when we watch stream chats. Now, is the Seasons and Chapters naming convention a little confusing? Yeah. But you gotta call them something. Wolfsbane Leaf. I don't think I've seen anything that uses that. That makes a lot of sense, and that approach is absolutely paying off from what I've seen. I mean, it is going to have the effect, and you know, we've seen that in a few people's comments of people seeing it and going, "Oh, it's just kind of not for me." And that's going to happen with any game. But far more common than that, what we've seen is people seeing it, people seeing the progress, people seeing the gameplay loop of actually being able to have characters that are lasting for a little while, and you know, getting together and playing and seeing just this state of the game and coming in and saying, "Oh, I want that." So I have to say, you know, going from somebody who's been very skeptical over various phases in the past, I think that the seasons, and especially with the champs and supporters having their time in, and kind of the change to that schedule, has been just a staggering win for VR. That's not perfect, nothing's gonna be, but it's been really good for the overall perception from just about everything that I've been seeing from people. So take that as you will. Go see if my lunch camp has respawned here or not. I'm already at the point where I need to head back to town and see if I can get some more well buffs. But I should be able to get a few more Gadai. Nope. I just was completely blind and did not see that recruit. Yeah, I think that to a large extent what we've seen is that Seasons has really carried forward the momentum and visibility that the Creator Week got. Oh, absolutely. Get some sleep, and always nice to see folks stopping in. Oh, well, that could have gone better. Some mistakes were made. I do not have all of my fancy well buffs anymore. We'll just keep barrier rolling and pound these guys down one at a time. But yeah, get some sleep, and all the work is appreciated. Okay, one recruit left. This is doable. All right, piece of cake. That was exactly how I planned that to go. That was in no way, shape, or form a clusterfuck. Yeah, what we've been seeing is that, especially during the seasons A lot of the VR team has been doing a lot of like check-ins and lurks and just generally hopping into streams and just checking in, giving updates. They really started doing that during the creator week that we had towards the end of last year. I don't remember exactly when that was, but that's when we really started seeing them just kind of pop into streams and hang out, because again, there was kind of that ability for us to all stream without it being like an arranged thing. And it gave them the opportunity to actually stop in and just watch actual organic gameplay. And I think that they're really carrying that forward with seasons now, where they get the ability to just hop into these streams and get direct feedback and watch the game be played outside of their testing environment. And that's another reason why I really think that this approach has been good for them, is that they get to have... how am I encumbered already? Oh, because I was doing all that mining. Well, I'm going to do a bit more mining then. But it just opens up another avenue of feedback for them, where they can get that visibility into less structured play sessions. Let's see, while I'm mining... Yep, the LFG has gone even lower in numbers, so I think that this might be starting to be petering out here. So not as much progress as I was hoping. Never did get a group coming together for the Cleric, and holy crap, this large Casper light has taken forever to mine. Of course, I am just using base tools. But 8 chunks of Casperlite ore doesn't suck. Aside from the fact that it makes me even slower as I head back down to the crossroads to sell. Since I'm already slowed, it means that I'm going to go ahead and mine this Asherite. Clunk. Gonna take the most direct path towards the vendor, even if it involves some minor falls. And with any luck, I have enough crap in here to sell to get back down to a decent weight. Oh yeah, definitely. 'Cause none of these things are anything but sell bait. Right, that'll do. Quick nab of the blackberry bush. Okay, good. Just making sure that that player there has cleric buff before I bounce out of here, because I'm going to head back to the cleric starting area. I don't think I finished any of my tasks. Nope. That'll let me head down and toss some more of these crafting mats in the bank, because that weight starts adding up quick. And as a cleric, I am not exactly heavy on the strength. I'm not bad, but I'm also wearing a lot of weight worth of chain armor. So my gear is eating up a relatively large portion of my carry weight to begin with. Okay, various materials are stashed. And those are both bandages, right? Yep, good. I'm gonna take one more peek. LFG in this range right now is 3 healers, 2 clerics, and a shaman. So it's not looking like a cleric group is going to be coming, at least right now. So that is what it is. But I think that's going to be where I call it for the moment to take a break, because definitely got to get some lunch coming in. But that does mean that Static Group Live, Drac and company are out cruising in the manor. So we'll go hang out over there.